I'm just reacting to the news that Kamaru Usman is actually maybe not going to be fighting at the March card in the UK. And Jacob Ross just told me this. And
On the
the
spot.
UFC, guess who the UFC is considering? And I'm literally just finding this out now. And the first thing I said is, what the fuck? The UFC isn't considering Hamzat, not even Colby or Burns. They're thinking about Masvidal, Leon Edwards in the UK. That is the most foolish matchup you could possibly make. And if there's anything that is more indicative of the fact that the UFC is trying to run themselves like the WWE and not a professional sport, it's the fact that they're considering Jorge Masvidal, a guy who is nowadays old, washed up, and a journeyman,
He's always been
instead
a
of
journeyman.
a high-level fighter like Khamzat Chimaev, who's basically earned a title shot, who's undefeated in the UFC. You're considering Jorge fucking Masvidal because he's going to pump out a couple of pay-per-views. What the fuck?
I
Because
hate to
of
break it
the
to you
story.
guys, but Colby versus Jorge did 200K, 300K.
It didn't even do good numbers. He got his
Nobody
ass
cares
kicked.
about him anymore. Who cares
Dude,
about Jorge?
this guy ran up and attacked another one of the fighters in the streets and has a.
And they're rewarding him a title shot. Like
how valid is this information that Usman has?
I'm gonna pull it up right now.
Pull it up right now because
Wonder Boy said it. Wonder Boy said it, and I don't see why he would have a reason to lie. You know what I'm saying?
This better not be true because, first of all, I would love to see Jorge Masvidal get fucked up by Leon Edwards. I just don't want to see it on a pay-per-view.
Especially if there's Chimaev. Especially if Chimaev's the other guy you can get a belt.
I don't want to see Jorge Masvidal in the title shot anymore. Like, stop. We've seen enough of it. We've seen this guy get the BMF belt. We saw him get 2 title shots against Kamaru Usman. He blew both of those opportunities. We saw him get another main event in a pay-per-view against Colby. He blew that opportunity. That's 3 missed opportunities in a row. When is the UFC going to figure out that the fans are no longer getting behind this guy? Get with the times. Get with the program, okay? Like, we aren't people that are living under rocks. We're not like old men that have watched the sport here and there and don't really know who's on top right now. Jorge Masvidal, his stock is low. Do you not understand that, the UFC? His stock has dropped a lot. This guy isn't as big of a star as he used to be. He's old, he's washed up, and people know that he's old and he's washed up, okay?
Even the casuals.
No, and we don't want that. We want Hamzat and we want Leon now.
So what happened was
Leon to kick someone's ass in London. I understand. Come on.
Stephen Thompson. So Stephen Thompson said Kamaru Usman is having hand surgery. I know they want to fight someone in March and they're looking at Jorge Masvidal. So you know what I was actually thinking about why I think that's valid? I don't know about the Masvidal part, but why I think it's valid is because you know how they're doing the promos for the UFC in London or whatever?
Yeah.
They didn't say anything about the Leon versus Usman trilogy. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, they never mentioned that,
which is weird. You know what I'm saying?
They had promos on at the UFC 282 fights at the post-fight press conference. Yeah. No, it was the press conference
weigh-ins,
right after the press conference.
Weigh-ins.
And the weigh-ins.
Oh, yeah.
Where they were promoting like the events that the UFC was going to do at the start of 2023, and they didn't have any mention of Usman and Leon. But they did have something about London. And it wasn't as if they weren't advertising any other fights. They had Gastelum and Mavov. They had some other big fights they were mentioning. They even had Brandon Moreno and Figueiredo in there, but they never advertised Usman and Leon. And Usman may have just blown his title shot. But like, listen, if the UFC is a serious organization, you don't go to Jorge Masvidal, a guy who's lost 3 in a row, right?
4 in a row.
Usman twice. Dude, how often is this guy going to get a fucking opportunity to fight in a main event, right? The UFC needs to understand he's not that big of a star anymore. Just straight up, he's not that big of a star anymore. And Khamzat Chimaev is a much bigger star. I understand the idea that they don't want Leon Edwards to get demolished by Khamzat in the UK, but, you know, when has the UFC ever done that? I mean, they just made, they put together fights like this. They're doing
Volk against Islam in Perth.
In Perth, Australia.
Yeah.
They're going to get Volk demolished in his hometown. So what?
They put Whitaker against
Adesanya guys in their hometown. That's bullshit.
Yeah,
They've never protected guys in their hometown. They put Justin Gaethje in Arizona against Oliveira. They don't care about the hometown guy winning. Like, come on, this is bullshit. And Leon Edwards doesn't even want to fight Jorge. I think he should turn it down. But, like, you know, if I'm Leon Edwards, I mean, Jacob, let me ask you this. Do you want to fight Khamzat or Masvidal?
Oh, I mean, Masvidal, but, like, I just think it's more of like a respect thing. Like, I think Leon's like, okay, look, between the two guys, I would for sure rather fight Masvidal. It's the easiest opponent.
But he has an issue with Masvidal. Remember, he
But-
doesn't want Masvidal profiting off of him.
Exactly. That's the thing. He doesn't want Masvidal profiting, and I think he doesn't want him to be rewarded from from 3 straight losses and doing what he did to Colby. So I think he'd rather bite a bullet and fight a Chimaev.
I think so.
And then give George his chance, because I think Leon's a good dude. You know what I'm saying? He's an honorable dude. He saw how long it took him to get a title shot. So he's like, fuck this guy. Why should he get his third title shot?
Earned it.
You know what I'm saying? He hasn't earned shit.
What if he calls out Bilal? Oh, but he just turned down Bilal.
But yeah, so it's gonna be Chimaev, hopefully. And I'm happy about this. I really hope that this is the truth, and I believe that it is, just because why would Wonder Boy lie? You know what I'm saying? And they better make it Chimaev, or else it has become WWE.
I mean, listen, if it is Leon versus Jorge, I think we're gonna see Leon win. Jorge's past his prime. It would be a
great night, but at the same time, it's just nobody.
You're slowing things down.
Nobody cares to see fucking Masvidal anymore. If this was 2 years ago, Leon gets the belt, and then they book it. That makes sense, but nobody gives a shit about Masvidal anymore. And you see by the pay-per-view numbers, him versus Colby tanked. It tanked. 2 big draws, couldn't sell over 300K. That's pathetic. Yeah. Put Chimaev as a main event fighting for a belt in London against Leon. That's doing over 500K.
That's a big fight. Yeah,
guarantee it. Guarantee it. And the UFC better make the right move and do that. They better, or else I'm gonna be real upset.
I'd love to see it. I like Leon Edwards, but I obviously think Khamzat would ragdoll him and submit him in 1 round. But I think Chimaev, like I said many times, I think he beats Leon and Colby in the same night. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
And I think
I really. I think he would. He'll finish both of them in the first round.
Put them all 3 out there in the same night.
Chimaev in the same cage, or
not in the same cage, but back and forth.
Night. I think he could do that too.
Because people just don't realize how good Chimaev is.
He's the best.
People are like, oh, the Burns
could
fight.
be skill for skill the best fighter in the UFC.
He's the best fighter in the UFC. He is. Islam Makhachev's probably number 2, but he's the best fider in the UFC. Pure skill for skill.
I think so too. Khamzat's another beast.
Yeah, and also look, if he fought Leon, I just want to back my point about 3 of them in the same night. Leon, it'd be first round submission. I think he gets it done in the first 2 rounds. I think he takes him down, takes his back right away, and submits him. Colby, same thing. I think he picks him up, throws him on the ground, submits him. Usman, I think he knocks him out right away. The dude is a shitty striker. Honestly, that head kick wouldn't have happened to anybody else. All I gotta say. That just shows his lack of striking. And the thing about Usman that's so weird is he looks like he's just started striking a year ago. That's just his vibe of striking. He's like, oh, this is a jab. This is the right. Oh, maybe I'll throw a 3, but his 3 looks like a little garbage. It looks like someone who's been boxing for 6 months could do. He's a shit striker. Let's face it, guys. He's got some power, but he's not a good striker. And look, I'm happy about this also because nobody cares about Usman anymore. I'm sorry, he was never a fan favorite. He acted like he was for some reason, but which I don't blame. If you're a champion, you try to market yourself, but nobody cares about him. He's got no personality whatsoever.
The only thing that made him relevant was the fact that he was a dominant champion. Yeah,
exactly. But now who cares about him really? After that head kick, he got embarrassed. Nobody cares about him. Nobody wants to see him anymore. They want to see the young beast in Chimaev. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's got the most. I looked at something the other day between there's a visual of Patty, Sean O'Malley, and Chimaev, and they said who's gonna be the biggest star, and it shows the amount of followers they have. And Chimaev had the most, and he doesn't even do the content like they do. What is that says something,
People that's a guy who has it. I saw Paddy Pimblett walk out and Joe Rogan was talking about him while he was getting into the cage at UFC 282. And Rogan was like, some people just have it. And it's like, dude, he doesn't even have it.
Not Paddy.
Chimaev doesn't even have to try to get him out.
Yeah, literally, he doesn't have to try. Chimaev is 4.6 million. Let's see how many Usman. Let's just look for a second.
Usman is 3.2. I checked. Couple
3.3. More people care about Chimaev. They're making more money from Chimaev, I'm telling you. Especially in
Jorge, dude. Jorge Masvidal. I mean, how much does he have? He has I can't stand Jorge Masvidal. I'm gonna be real.
I don't think anybody does he have fans anymore? Let me ask you, does he have any fans?
I mean, guys, here's the thing about Jorge.
Yeah, guys. He's got less followers than Chimaev. So fuck out of here, UFC. You better book Chimaev
I mean,
versus
here's the
Leon.
thing about Jorge. Jorge was awesome in 2019, 2018, when he had that crazy run in 2019 against Darren Till, Askren, Nate Diaz. He stepped in on short notice against Usman. But ever since his first loss to Usman, he's done
Nobody cared
nothing
about
but
him
make
anymore.
excuses, complain, run around like he's a entitled
Hoodlum.
little bastard. A guy who came from the streets who was just grateful to be in the UFC turned into some, pussy that was just complaining all the time. And then he gets his wishes against Usman, gets KO'd brutally. He's talking lots of shit about Colby Covington, and Colby
Beating
dismantles him, beats
50
him
to
up.
45.
And now all he's doing is ducking fights and sitting out. I mean, the whole MMA world knows that he's a fraud. He's a money hungry guy who's not that hungry anymore, who's not that passionate about MMA. I mean, fuck this guy. I don't like Jorge Masvidal.
Nobody
I think
cares about him anymore.
he fell off just like Patty with the fans.
The thing also about it is that I don't remember the last time where I heard someone say something good about Masvidal. I can't remember. And you're gonna reward a guy who just committed a crime. Like, come on. Like, what has Chimaev done wrong? Oh, he missed weight because a doctor told him to stop cutting weight. Like, come on now. Like, give Chimaev the fucking title shot like he should have gotten in the first place.
Chimaev posted a few days ago that his training camp is starting.
Maybe that's what it is.
I hope so. I hope it's him versus Leon in the UK.
I love Chimaev. That's what
that UK card is going to be big. You're going to have Arnold Allen on there.
Yeah.
You're going to have Patty Pimblett getting
KO'd
KO'd on there.
Is his hand going to be okay?
Usman's?
No, Arnold Allen.
Oh, Arnold Allen may make it to London. Yeah, I hope he does.
Usman hand surgery, but that's weird because he got this. I think it's the same hand that he hurt in the first Covington fight and in the second Covington fight.
Oh yeah.
So his hand's fucked. That guy's body is also fucking breaking down. That's why when before this I picked Leon to win the trilogies because Usman's body's breaking down. He is.
Yeah,
he
is.
And his knees are done. His hands fucked up. He's 36. Nobody wants to see this guy fight for the belt anymore. I'm sorry.
Give him a number one contenders fight, man. Make him fight like any other champion.
Make him, like we talked about in the past. Immediate rematches, I think, are bullshit.
I think they usually are.
But